All right, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Show Choir Nation, the flagship podcast of the Homeroom Show Choir Network. I'm your host, William. To my right is my co-host, Ethan, and to my down screen area is our guest today, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's very sunny and very beautiful.
Wonderful. Well, that is slightly better than we're doing here in the Midwest. It's
It's still very nice, though.
very nice.
My mood has gone up a lot since Saturday when it was pretty freaking cold out. So,
Yeah.
I'll take my wins. I'm gonna take my wins.
Cloudy and breezy here. Just one note for those of you jumping in at the start of the stream. There will not be any talk about the Mount Zion Midwest Invitational tonight. Obviously, a premier event that is going on this weekend. Ethan and I are so privileged to be able to be on the live stream for that event. We will be talking about all the groups that we see on both Friday and Saturday. Thank you to Stream Show Choir for allowing us this opportunity. But all the talk of Mount Zion will happen Wednesday night. Wednesday night preview podcast for Mount Zion. We did one of these for Chesterton, and it got pretty off the rails pretty quickly. So expect the same thing for our Mount Zion preview on Wednesday night. It'll probably be 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central for all you folks interested in Mount Zion previews. But sticking in the state of Illinois, we have Glennwood, the Ohio State University event. And the results of this one, Wheaton-Warrenville South, the Classics, Best Vocals, Best Choreography, Best Band, and Mixed Grand Champion. Mount Zion Swing Stations, second. Brownsburg Spotlight Singers and Company, third. Naperville North Entourage, fourth. Marquette Center Stage, fifth. In single gender finals, taking home the win, Best Choreography and Best Band, Wheaton-Warrenville South Esprit. Brownsburg Starlight Voices, Best Vocals, and second. Mount Zion La Femme in third. Ethan, the first question I'm going to ask you is about results, but in a tangential way. What time was the results award ceremony at this competition?
I couldn't even tell you. It had to be around, 1:30 because I left the school about 2, got home around 3. So, overall though,
Brutal.
Yes, but honestly, it was one of those competitions at the end of the day where it's like I wasn't even mad that I was still there. You know what I mean? I was just enjoying a good day of show choir. And I was like, you know what? The longer it goes, it's just one of those stories you get to tell later. Like I remember one time where I was at the event until I got home at 3:30 or 3. Which I've been going to this contest, which feels like years now. So no fire alarms though. This is the first time I've had a fire alarm at the event personally. I know they had probably one recently. I think I saw a comment on something that said they did, but I've never experienced a fire alarm there. Yeah, results wise, this probably went exactly how I thought it was going to go, besides 2 things that could have switched. I feel like Homewood Nexus had probably a bid for finals. It had to be really close. I thought Esprit came out and had a really good overall show. And it's kind of funny because like then Brownsburg comes out with a great vocal show, really come out and they blared. And the Mount Zion came out with choreography and just having enough vocals to beat out Nexus and Naperville North, who beat them the week prior. Had to be very tight. However, that's kind of how I thought it was going to go. And then going into the mixed finals, I thought in prelims it was Wheaton's to take. I thought their final show was a little. This is gonna like sound weird, but it was a little bit worse, which means it's still amazing. I thought in prelims they really brought it, and I think that was clear because rumor has it they're up by like 30 plus points. So, however, I thought everyone else kind of slid into where I thought they were going to slide into. I thought Brownsburg had very good vocals. Same with Naperville. I thought vocally they were really good. What's the saying go? If I had 2 nickels for every time I've seen a Coco Cabana show this season, I would have 2 nickels. So I was very surprised.
Which isn't a lot.
Yeah,
but it's weird that it happened twice.
But yeah, because I haven't seen a Coco Cabana show ever until this year. So seeing 2. They both were great, Millard North and Brownsburg. I thought Brownsburg, showmanship-wise, was one of the best groups here. I really had fun watching their show. Their kids seemed to love it.
Can I just cut in? Brownsburg's Rico is an absolute stud.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. He controls that stage. He really does. I think and then I thought Mount Zion really brought it in finals. I think they're in the 2 spot going in. However, they really solidified their spot there. I felt like Naperville North just slides in right under Brownsburg. Like I said, they had an amazing soloist and amazing vocals. And then Marquette beat out Jackson Academy for that last spot. Now, I sadly missed Jackson Academy. However, this was like the second time I've seen Marquette. And all I know is, or actually third time, Marquette just has so much fun on stage at the end of their shows. They won Best Closer at Troy when I saw them last. And I thought they brought it as well here. It had to be tight. I didn't get to see Jackson Academy, so I'll let you expand on that, Will. But this is, for the most part, no real surprises here besides maybe Homewood Nexus missing finals.
Yeah, I'm going to shout out a trio of groups that I saw. The first one is the one that made finals, Marquette Center Stage. I've been dying to see one of your shows for a few years now. A little bit of a nomadic program because there aren't a ton of groups in that St. Louis area. So Glennwood actually one of the shorter drive comps for them, pretty comparable to going to Columbia or something like that. So I was really happy to be able to see one of their shows. Their first half of the show I thought was just phenomenal. Everything from show design to movement to arrangements as well. I love that they had no risers, they had no props, they had no boxes. They had singer dancers and costumes and band. And that was how they ran their show. And I really appreciated seeing that breath of fresh air. And I'm really happy that they made finals. So shout out to all my homies at Marquette that I talked to while eating a horseshoe at lunch. And if you know what eating a horseshoe at lunch means, you're also a real one. Maybe nominated for best comp food for homies this year. Who knows? The second group I want to shout out is Jackson Academy. Hardcore encore all the way. Like, put me in that fan club. JA to lead off the varsity mixed division. Also such a breath of fresh air after a festival division that due to some groups with such excessive setups took way longer than it should have and was definitely a drag by the end of it. Jackson Academy was so good. Their energy was incredible, probably like top 3 groups energy wise I saw all day. Their opener was so tight. They did kind of run on vibes in the back half of the set, I will not lie. But Willis Thigpen, definitely the best performer I saw all day there. Probably top 3 performers I've seen on any stage so far this season. So real shout out to Jackson Academy. Really blessed to be able to see one of their shows. I want to talk about Homewood Nexus as well. Sometimes stuff happens, right? You're setting up, like they're really nearly done setting up.
Yeah.
Like behind the curtain, they are on the risers in the first block and the fire alarm goes off. And, what else can you do, right? Like, you can't choose that, right? And Wheaton, who was right after them, they had to deal with that in warm-up as well.
Oh, yeah.
So, the effects were not just limited to Nexus. They had a good show vocally and a good show visually. But Ethan, like you said, when Wheaton Warrenville South of Spree just had a super tight show all around, Brownsburg sang incredibly well, Mount Zion moved incredibly well. There was just not a lot of room to sneak into these single gender finals. I was able to talk to a couple of their performers and also their director, Byron Mosquera, after Daytime Awards. Just such great people all around. I definitely hope to see them back in the Midwest again. Sure. And yeah, those were kind of 3 of my big takeaways.
Yeah, I just have to add, like, after Mount Zion You've Got Mail gets off stage, the first group of the whole day, Homewood starts setting up, and then you mentioned something to me. You're like, oh my goodness. Well, Nexus was already setting up and all that stuff. They're getting their lights figured out in the front. And you're like, oh my goodness, look at the judges' table. Apparently a coffee was spilled on the judges' table. And then we're like, so that was a little bit of a delay. Just not that big, but a little bit. And then the fire alarm goes off, and we're like, what is going on? Second group of the day, but that's just kind of how it sleds. You never know what's ever going to happen, especially in those early choirs that go on stage. Some of them are like guinea pigs, you know what I mean? You just got to get into the flow of the competition. And sometimes it means a spilt coffee. Sometimes it means a fire alarm. And I mean, that's just kind of how it went.
Yes, it does. Chris, anything that popped off the results sheet that you want to add on to?
I just want to also add that I love Jackson Academy. Y'all in the home room.
Yeah. We will move on to let me look at my show sheet here for the next competition. The Norris Fields of Talent. This one, quite the interesting result as well. Gretna Revolution, Vocals, Choreo Band, and the Grand Championship. Urbandale Studio, second place. Gretna East Equinox, third place. Lincoln East Express, fourth place. Grand Island Northwest, 14 Karat Gold, fifth place. Harrisonville Music Makers, sixth place. Ethan, I'll toss this one to you first. What are a couple of pieces of results that we can really draw from?
Well, Harrison, stand up, man. Stand up. I mean, some people were counting you out. I mean, granted, Gretna's prep group is fantastic. So it's definitely a conversation to be had. However, y'all held your own. You got that last final spot. I love to see it. 14 Karat Gold had Lincoln East earlier in the season. Those placements flip here. Basically, everything is kind of the same for me. I mean, I feel like we talk about these same groups going up against each other every single week. That's not really the case, but that's just kind of how it feels like. You throw an Urbandale into the mix between Gretna and Gretna East here. They split them. Of course they do. Wonderful show. I can only imagine how tight that show is now since I saw them at maybe their second competition at Troy. Gretna, powerhouse, wheelhouse. They just took it all. Besides best overall performer, best soloist. Have a day. However, I'm really happy to see Harrisonville take that last spot here.
Chris, what do you think? Uh-oh. Did we lose Chris?
I see him blinking.
All right. Chris, can you hear us? Any thoughts on the Norris results?
Just a big shout out to Gretna East. Really cool to see them like coming in and taking some wins over some quality groups. It's really good for them. I love when a program comes out of nowhere and in one season and starts winning. Love to see it.
Oh, for sure. I do want to talk about Gretna East and Gretna to kind of put a bit of a bow on this competition. Nathan Wallace and Caitlin Wallace, the directors of Gretna East and Gretna, had previously met once before when both were directing prep groups. Nathan took that battle, but Caitlin took this battle. The war is now 1-1 between husband and wife, and Gretna takes the first battle in what I hope will be a really long and storied battle with Gretna East. And I say battle in the absolute nicest of terms because, just having the chance to talk to people in those programs, everyone is just so supportive of what the other school is doing. And I think that's really admirable because in suburban expansion, it can get very easy to get very tribal very fast about, well, no, I'm going to the new school or I stayed with the old school. But, everyone just has such a great sense of community over there. This is it for Urbandale and Gretna East. Gretna will attempt to sweep the Lewis Central Clash of the Titans this weekend, which we will talk about in our preview portion as well. Moving along to the Totino-Grace Show Choir Spectacular. The results of this one: Broken Arrow, Tiger Rhythm, Best Vocals, Best Choreography, and Grand Champions. Davenport North, Northside Establishment, second place. Hastings Riverside Company, Best Band, third place. Bemidji Vocal Motive, fourth place. Bloomington Jefferson Connection, fifth place. Omaha South, The Ambassadors, sixth place. And Ethan, I don't think the prelims placements were the same as the finals placements.
They for sure were not. What can you say? Broken Arrow had a finals performance to be remembered. I'm guessing it was. I really don't know. I'm guessing it's ranks.
I believe. Oh man, because I went to Totino last year. I don't know if I saw a finals sheet though.
Okay.
I would have to believe it was ranks because I know in prelims I knew of a point spread, but I believe in finals it was ranks.
Okay. Well, last show going into this competition, and when we previewed it, I probably said five key points going into this competition, right? 4 of them did not hit at all. 4 of them were just throw them away in the trash. 4 of them were not even close. For example, I don't think I had Davenport North in finals. And
I called you out on that. I said I cannot believe the amount of Davenport North disrespect that was hitting the airwaves of this program.
Stupid. I said, watch out for Omaha South. I thought they could possibly even get the 3 spot here, which they get the 6, but tough competition. That happens. I had Bloomington. I think I had Bloomington Jefferson over Bemidji. That didn't happen. I had Hastings in second. That didn't happen. However, I did say I'm going to take Broken Arrow in this competition. And now, granted, you had some good counterpoints. Hastings turns it on at Totino-Grace. There's just something about it. They do their job well at Totino-Grace. I took a Broken Arrow, and it paid off for me. No, I did not see Davenport North doing this. And I mean, even when you called me out, I was like, okay, you know what? I could be wrong. I mean, that happens a million times on the show. I am wrong. Second place, though? Oh, my goodness. We had somebody DM us, and they were like, Davenport North leading in the day. And I just said, congrats to DN, man. I like, what? So congrats to DN. This is going into finals on first place. They must have been on such a high if the director even told them.
No, they announced it at
no way.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. That's only happened at like one competition I've ever been at. Sullivan did it over the loudspeakers, which threw us for a loop. However,
Totino's weird like that, man.
Yeah. So Davenport North, they must be on such a high. They have to be on such a high. Even though they got second place to Broken Arrow, beating Hastings is just amazing. There were some other amazing choirs here. Big shout out to Broken Arrow Tiger Mystique for taking first in that treble division. Hastings is a very solid group, dynamic addition. Same as Bloomington Jefferson Jive. They're always in the middle of the pack there in Minnesota. So yeah, I'm just yapping, but basically, look at face value of what I said last week. One thing happened, and it was the winner, which usually is the easiest thing to predict here, but in this case, it wasn't. So I guess I'll take it.
Chris, lots of choirs from lots of places here. Who jumps out at you?
This is Totino-Grace again, right?
Correct.
Okay, so I mean Davenport North taking second, absolutely unbelievable and great for them. I love Visa. They came to California in 2020 with their Tornado Dust Bowl theme show, and I've loved them ever since, so I'm glad to see them picking up another win.
Absolutely. As for just kind of my takeaways from this, I would have killed to see a North versus Central matchup in Davenport this year. I am going to bust Davenport Central's tail a little bit. I don't think they have gone to the most competitive events these past couple of years. And Davenport North, I would say, you look at going to Bettendorf, which is usually a phenomenal event. They placed right in between Wheaton North and Waconia. Davenport Central, which is always a great event. Cedar Rapids Jefferson was probably their one light one for the year, and then Totino as well, stacked comp. I have to commend Northside Establishment for putting their rear end out on the line this year and really getting rewarded big time for it. No placement lower than third this season as well. As for Omaha South, man, sometimes you just go out of state and you just kind of get chewed up and spit out. And, that happens sometimes, but I think they still have a very impressive body of work to fall back on in-state, and they'll go right back at it this week at Omaha North and potentially challenge Gretna East for the win. Who knows? Rolling along to our final competition of the recap, we have Liberty's inaugural Storm the Stage event. Linmar 10th Street Edition, vocals, choreo, and band taking home the win. Walking Millennium, second place. Prairie the Ambassadors, third place. Cedar Rapids Kennedy Happiness Incorporated, fourth place. Cedar Rapids Washington Momentum, fifth place. Raymore Peculiar Rush from Missouri in the sixth spot. Chris, I'll toss it to you first this time. Is the story here Linmar, or is the story something else?
The story here is perhaps the best high school name I've ever heard in my life. Raymore Peculiar. Awesome. Greatest thing I've ever heard. Of course, Linmar. Linmar is great. They haven't lost since who knows.
2020.
2020. And Waukee, having a great season. I'm a Waukee Northwest kind of guy myself, but I love seeing schools in the same district go at it. That's always fun. But yeah, Raymore Peculiar. What a name.
Ethan, besides Raypeck and besides Linmar, what do you see?
Prairie. I see Prairie. I do see Prairie. They beat a choir in Cedar Rapids Canyon that has 2 wins on the season. In a year that many thought Prairie was kind of slipping, they showed out and get a podium spot here against Waukee, who looks like they're on fire right now under Tony Dam, and of course Limar. I'm sad to see some of these choirs seasons end. I believe Cedar Rapids Kennedy's done. There's probably a lot more, but I just don't know.
I believe everyone is done besides Ray Peck, who hosts next week. But I believe everyone else is done.
That's crazy. But this is kind of goes. End your season at the Liberty, storm the stage in North Liberty.
What are you doing in North Liberty?
What are you doing in North Liberty? I'm at Asher's house. That's where I am. I'm at Asher's house. I guess. I mean, just giving a standing O to Linmar. Clapping. They deserve their claps. They hold Mick Ronkin for another whole year. They'll probably break all the records with holding it, because then they'll go up against the region again. And if they can do it again, I mean, they'll break every single record with the McRonkin. So congrats to Linmar for holding the McRonkin for what? It'll be 4 years and 5 years?
Well, they took it early in 22. So
in 22.
Yep, because they beat Ankeny Centennial their first comp out, or second comp out.
So, I mean, they're going to break all the records. The official records, so to say. Because, I mean, yes. Carmel, early on the year, or early on show choir, who knows what really happened there. So, congrats to Linmar. Waukee showing out. I feel like they had a fantastic season. And it's definitely it's a show I want to go see, because the way that they placed later in the year is spectacular. I thought they did the exact opposite of plateauing. They just kept going. They just kept going up. And then Prairie coming out in the podium spot here. Those are my takeaways.
A couple just last ones that I want to touch on. Number one, I do have to give Prairie a shout. They were 2 spots behind Cedar Rapids Kennedy last week at Indianola. And then they jump Cedar Rapids Kennedy this week. If they'd done that last week, that would have been the overall win at Indianola. But better late than never, I guess. And a second shout out does go to one of the best names in the show choir circuit, Raymore Peculiar Rush. This is a program that had, for a pretty long time, kind of been one of those really bottom top division choirs in Missouri. They were a 5A choir, but they were never a threat to make finals or anything like that. Their director, Stephen Rue, came in a few seasons ago. They made finals for the first time in forever last year at Harrisonville. Now they have 4 finals appearances in the past 2 years, and they will be hosting their inaugural competition this upcoming weekend as well. So I do want to give a shout to Ray Peck from the Kansas City area. Random to see them at North Liberty, but certainly they made finals. It was tight over Waukee Spirit, but it was certainly good for them. A bit of a miscellaneous recap of some results across the country this weekend. Number 1, Des Moines Christian Light Inc. Sweeps the Atlantic Sing and Swing. That is their 3rd consecutive win at Atlantic. Mitchell Friendecoux takes a big win over Sioux City East and Waukee Northwest at the Bishop Healing Crusader Classic. Winfield Emerald Elegance, their women's group, taking home the GC over their mixed group at Cobble Midland. Lake Forest Middle School Revolution GCing over 6 different high schools at the Donaldson Christian Academy Music City Show Choir Invitational. Elkhorn North beats Elkhorn South and the original Elkhorn in the Elkhorn Show Choir Invitational, aka the Grand Island Islander Show Choir Invitational. Cosby taking a split caption win over a pretty strong Manchester at the Hanover Mechanicsville Festival of Choirs. Keller Blue Lights just absolutely dominating another Texas competition at Keller Central. Carmel Ambassadors take their first win of the season. Feels weird to say that in March, but here we are. They swept at Lafayette Jefferson. Oak Mountain Singers swept Brandon and Grenada at the Madison Central Deep South Classic. And Webb City Singers took their 4th win of the season to close their year, winning over, I think it was Smith Cotton and Pleasant Hill and Blue Valley over at Platte County. So, Chris, pick one. What is one quick storyline that jumps out to you?
I don't know. There's so much information so fast, but one thing I do want to say is Linmar, Buglewitzes, if you're watching this, come to California. That's what I want to say.
All right, Ethan, maybe something on the list, maybe not.
Yeah, just to fill it up, like you said, Carmel winning in March for the first time just seems so bizarre to me. Lake Forest Middle School, congrats, new winner of the year. We've been keeping track, and we're slowly trying to get to what, 500?
Yeah, we are trying to get to 500. We are about 20 short of that right now.
So if you don't have a win, keep getting wins. And then I guess the one thing I really want to pick out is, I guess, the Oak Mountain sweep over Brandon and Grenada, because we get to witness the Brandon versus Grenada a week from this, like in Mount Zion. Like, it's going to be an amazing competition. You throw in so many outsiders into it. Who knows what's truly going to happen? Many going into Mount Zion thought it was Brandon and Grenada's. Sorry, not Gretna's. Grenada's.
Please, Gretna, drop out
Yes,
of late
hey,
second.
late second.
John Hersey just dropped. There's a
dropped.
spot open, we promise.
Come on, hop on the wagon. So we get to witness it unfold at Mount Zion. And then one last thing, Webb City, huge win for them. I mean, even the people who got second and third, Hannibal and Smith Cotton, in crazy placements. Blue Valley was one of my favorite groups I've seen this season. So the fact that you all were able to best them is really, really a testament to your programs. So yeah, I know I said 6 different bullet points, but go ahead, Will.
If I had to just pick out one, I'm going to go with Elkhorn North Adrenaline here. This is another suburban split program that took a few years to get its feet under itself, but really exploded this year. 2 wins, both of them very legitimate wins. Beating Elkhorn South is never, ever an easy thing to do. That is a group that has contended with some of Nebraska's best this year. And I've talked to some people who have been involved with that group. And from what I hear, it's just a sparkling group of students as well. So couldn't happen to a better group of people. And I look forward to Elkhorn North becoming like the 27th powerhouse Nebraska show choir group starting next year. All right. Well, there's a reason that we brought Chris on the show, and that is because the West Coast season is fully in the swing of things. We have now had 6 competitions in California so far this year. We have seen, at least in some form or fashion, all 3 of the big 3 groups. We've seen Burroughs win twice. We've seen Los Al win once. And we've seen an exhibition from Burbank at their host competition. And Chris, that's where I want to start with you. For a lot of the nationally minded people here, how are the big 3 shaping up this year?
This is going to shape up to be a really tight race. I mean, it is every single year. You know, they're consistently some of the best groups in the world. Powerhouse, gotta say, spectacular. I've seen them twice. They're incredible. Their theming and show design, I think, is some of the best, if not the best. And that continues again this year, as actually Dominic Mata starts to take on more of a creative role, and him and Jen Ujen are doing that together, whereas it's been more on the Jen side in the past. So a little bit of a added creative mind to their design work over there. And I think it's going great. Really easy to understand story, really impactful, and that's the kind of stuff I like the best. Los Al, I saw them at their pop show. Been a while, and they were wearing not their costumes that they were going to wear, and they didn't have their tech in the background. But I gotta say, last year Los Al wasn't at their best, in my opinion. This year, oh boy, it's gonna get pretty silly when the big 3 start to come against each other. Burbank, I've heard clips, and the clips I've heard are insane. The last time I saw them was at their Christmas show, actually, and they did a rendition of "Joy to the World" that I think in a less strong building might have might have destroyed the the whole location. That Burbank theater is not small, and it was shaking in there. This is going to be an all-out war for the 2 times that they see each other. So, stay tuned, and Marysville, I'm praying for you.
Yeah, we're going to kind of skip advanced mix too, because I feel like that division is always a bit of a hot mess in February. And really, to be frank, continues to be a hot mess all the way through Oceanside. So maybe at the end of the season, we'll wrap back around and see who has the hot hand at the end of the season.
Yeah,
but I want to.
you don't get real results till like March 30th for Tier 2, so we'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. But something that I do want to focus on that we have seen a little bit of, there's actually a really pretty growing show choir scene in Arizona. We've seen one show choir competition go down already. That was the Boulder Creek Showdown in the Desert. We have one more coming up, Valley Vista Monsoon Madness, in less than 2 weeks here. All of a sudden, Arizona starts to have the feeling like it has some pretty legitimate groups. We have Horizon Step on Stage going to Indiana in a couple of weeks. We have Boulder Creek, Broadway Bound, really stepping up their show this year. Valley Vista, long considered the vanguard for Arizona programs as well. Kind of talk a little bit about where you see Arizona going this year.
Yeah, Arizona, as far as consistency goes, they start their season a little bit later and they get going a little bit later, but those Arizona groups that are coming in Tier 2 and intermediate are very consistent. You know what you're going to get from them, which is not the case necessarily from the Advanced 2 groups in California, although we compete in the same circuit. So they're going to be coming in, Valley Vista specifically, with some powerful vocals. They're getting their feet under them as far as choreography goes, but they'll get there. Maybe this year even, we'll see. Boulder Creek, I've heard amazing things about Boulder Creek. And I'm really excited to see how everything works. We just got word that they'll be competing in Advanced Mix 2 at Burroughs, which is a big step up for them. One that they should be taking for sure, but a step up for them nonetheless. And we'll see how that goes. They'll be going against some competition that they can definitely make noise with.
Awesome. Ethan, anything you want to toss in here?
No, I think you guys touched on a lot that I kind of already was going to ask. So,
well, Chris, before
Horizon, real quick, big win over Valley Vista. They're a big question mark. They're a very mysterious program. Those from the West know. I don't know if they'll make noise at Brownsburg. We will see.
Well, that Brownsburg lineup just dropped as we are doing the show. It is going to be hard to make noise at Brownsburg. They are competing in large mixed, and the other groups in large mixed are Carmel, Franklin Central, and Noblesville. I think they have a shot at third. They have like a shot at third.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say they have a shot. If they're sweeping Valley Vista, they're a legitimate group. But we'll see. That's all.
Well, one final thing that I want to ask before we get into our preview portion of the show. We have Advanced Mix 1, we have Advanced Mix 2. Who are a couple of intermediate or novice groups that either have done well so far this year or that you think have the potential to do very well in their respective divisions?
It's got to be Pacifica. That's the name that jumps off the paper for me and for everybody else. They just win. They win every week. They sweep every week. They lost a really long losing streak to Burroughs Sound Waves, which for those of you that aren't familiar with Burroughs prep group, they would be a high-end Advanced 2 group in our circuit and most others. They're very, very good. Yeah, Pacifica will continue to roll. I haven't seen any lineup where they won't do well. Novice groups, Eisenhower continues to steamroll novice. Competition after competition, and I expect they'll do the same again. I want to shout out Valencia, actually. I've heard really, really, really amazing things about their vocal jazz program over at Valencia High School. As far as performing arts in that district, that includes Hart and Saugus, they're actually kind of the premier performing arts school. And they're kind of getting in on that show choir scene in novice. They're doing well. They're big, 40 plus members. I could start to see them making noise this year, next year, start to move up the divisions, and really excited to see what they've got in store.
All right. Well, there you have it. And we are going to roll straight into our comps of the week preview portion of today's show. Now, again, no coverage about Mount Zion. That will be Wednesday's show, Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. But we have plenty more to talk about because it's one of the biggest weekends of the year for show choir. And we will start out in California with the Heart Encore competition in Advanced Mix 1, John Burroughs Powerhouse. In Advanced Mix 2, we have Glendora Royal Stewarts, Diamond Bar Marquee, Chaparral Platinum Effects, and Bonita Vista the Music Machine. In Intermediate Mix, John Burroughs Sound Waves, as well as Oceanside and Golden Valley. In Novice Mixed, we have Los Altos, Shelley, Norco, Western Sierra, Granada Hills, Eisenhower, and Valencia. And then in the single gender division, in Advanced Women's, John Burroughs Sound Sensations. In Intermediate Women's, John Burroughs Decibels, as well as Diamond Bar, Glendora, Oceanside, and Saugus. In Novice Women's, Western Sierra and Eisenhower. And in the men's division, John Burroughs Men at Work and Diamond Bar Radiant. Before Ethan and I start yapping and say something stupid, Chris, what is the read on this competition?
Mix 2 is still going to be a little chaotic. I can tell you on good authority that Marquee in Mix 2 is going to be adding a song that they did not perform last week to their show, such as customary for Mix 2 groups. I also have it on decent authority that Glendora will be doing the same. So chaos per usual. Chaparral, they look a little bit interesting to me this year. I know that they're venturing into the lighting realm right now, which is a nice step for them. So we'll see if they will make some noise. To me, really the headline division is Intermediate Treble. That is looking to be one of those anyone can take it kind of divisions. I think I would be looking at Solitaire, Decibels, and Saugus to be the main contenders there. But really, I mean, from the top down, that's gonna be a brutal one.
Ethan, anything you want to say?
Oh man, it's that time of the year where you start learning about California choir. So I think John Burroughs Men at Work is going to take the bass division. I don't know. I just have a hunch. I'm sorry. I don't know. I feel like that's the only one I might feel a little qualified right now to do. Except I know maybe Diamond Bar has something up their sleeves. I would love to see it happen. Just taking a shot in the dark at tier 2, like you said, it's a little crazy this year. From what you know, I'm just gonna go Glendora 1, Diamond Bar 2, Bonita Vista 3, Chaparral at the 4, and I'll just leave it at that.
All right. Well, to me, the headline division is Novice Mixed because we have a pretty staggering 7 choir field. We have Eisenhower, who Chris noted is the pick to steamroll the division all year. We have Valencia, who Chris said is the pick to start making noise in the division sooner rather than later. We have Western Sierra, which is a choir from NorCal that is making its one trip down for the year. We have Shelley Sentinels, who is the first show choir from Idaho to compete since 2007, making the 900-mile trip down. And then, of course, last but certainly not least, we also have Norco, Los Altos, and Granada Hills. And if I knew anything about California, I would do one of those 1 to 7 full placement kind of deals. I don't know anything about California. I only know what Chris said, which is that Eisenhower and Valencia should be good. I don't know. I feel like I've heard the name Los Altos before, so we're going to go with Los Altos in the 3 spot. Chris, is Los Altos even a contender for the 3 spot?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say that's about where. I mean, they're like a 2 to 4 in this little division right here. I would say Eisenhower's going to take it, or something crazy happens. That's kind of my take on that division.
All right. Well, we will move back to not quite the other side of the Mississippi, but to the other side of the Missouri River. We'll go to the Lewis Central Clash of the Titans, this one in beautiful Council Bluffs, Iowa. In the mixed division, Lincoln East Express, Millard West, West in the Groove, Papillion, La Vista, South Titanium, Millard South, South on Stage, Sioux Falls, Jefferson Legacy, Gretna Revolution, Bellevue East Take 2, and then in the small mixed divisions, Vermilion, Rhythm and Red, and Fullerton, 8th, and Broadway. Ethan, we've been talking about most of these Nebraska groups pretty much every week since January 18th. I would hope that you would at least have enough guts to make a prediction on this one.
Yeah. I have guts to make a prediction on this one. It's just so funny to me. I know it's the region, but Millard West and Gretna are going through it. They really are. And honestly, you throw in Lincoln East too. The competition that these choirs have to go up against every single week, I know for the most part it might be the same in some capacity, but then you throw in 1 or 2 new choirs that they haven't gone up against that's from the region, and it's just like, okay, we get the Millard West, West in the Grove versus the Gretna Revolution battle. Mark that one off the list. Like, I feel it's kind of how it goes. Now, Millard West has had a very interesting season so far. I believe they have 2 wins to their name, and then they have a 4th place. But that 4th place was at a very good competition. So there's literally no slander in that. So them going up against Gretna, who just seems to have the ball rolling right now. It's going to be tight. It really is. It's going to be tight, and I'm going to go Gretna. Actually, no, I can't. I'm a Millard West truther. Hold up. You know what? I'm going to do this because I think I know your prediction. I'm going to go Millard West 1, Gretna 2. Why not take a swing for the fences? I'm going to go Lincoln East 3, Papillion La Vista South 4, and I'll go Millard South 5. And then, I'll just run with Sioux Falls Jefferson. Those are my predictions. I think this could be a split caption win, or one group is just going to take it all.
All right, Chris, do you have anything that you want to add to this?
Yeah, Nebraska expert Chris Mendoza on the scene. I would give me Gretna sweep, Millard West in 2nd, Lincoln East in 3rd, Papio South, and I'm gonna go Millard South, and then SFJ.
All right. Well, the very interesting thing about this one is that when you look at the one caption that Gretna has lost so far this year, that came at Standing Bear on January 25th, and that was the choreography caption. So again, I think I'll echo the sentiments of both of you. We see a very tight battle at 1 and 2. We see a good battle at 3 and 4 as well. I will take Gretna with vocals and the win. I will take Millard West choreo and band in 2nd, Lincoln East 3rd, Papio South 4th, Millard South 5th, and give me Millard West Uptown at the 6th. I really believe in that group of girls. I really do. So give me Millard West Uptown at the 6th, and this competition is named Clash of the Titans for a reason. I feel like year in and year out, it's always bumping at Lewis Central. So kudos to them for always managing to host a phenomenal Nebraska event in Iowa. It happens every year like this. Nobody knows how. Moving finally over to the other side of the Mississippi, we'll get to the Marysville Showcase. This one in Ohio in the large mixed division. We have Fairfield, Chesterton, Olentangy, Waubonsie Valley, Beaver Creek, and Marion Harding. Middle mixed, Twinsburg, Medina, and Whitehall Yearling. Small mixed, Buckeye Valley, River Valley, Elgin, Portsmouth, Licking Valley, and Trotwood Madison. In single gender, Fairfield, Chesterton, Olentangy, Waubonsie, and Marion Harding's guys. The final structure for this one, 5 mixed finalists, 3 single gender finalists. Ethan, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts? You're right. So going into this one, a few names jump off the page to me. Fairfield, they're coming off a win, correct?
They are. South Dearborn.
Yes. Chesterton is having, I think, a great year. I love their show. It seems so simple, but they have so much fun with it.
What is their show?
It's Spirit Week, and then it goes.
Have you seen their show?
Yes. Have you, Will?
No.
Have you seen their show?
I have not.
Chris, wait. Have you seen their show, Chris?
I've seen their show live.
Oh my gosh, Will has it?
No, I haven't.
Oh my gosh. Wow, Chris. I mean, Will. Sorry, Chris. Will, I can't believe you've never seen the Chesterton Sandpiper show this year. I can't believe you. How dare you? Okay, so Olentangy bested Beaver Creek. So that's kind of where my head is on this. However, Screw it. I'm going to go Chesterton in the 1. I'm going to go Olentangy in the 2, Fairfield in the 3. Oh, man. Beaver Creek in the 4, and I think Waubonsee Valley is going to round out finals there. And then you said Single Clef has 3 finalists.
Yep.
The 3 finalists are going to be Olentangy, Chesterton, and Fairfield. What order? I'm going to go Fairfield at the 1, Chesterton 2, Olentangy at the 3. I don't know. I've not been paying attention to Ohio/Chesterton's girls groups. That's just one page I've been off on this season. However, surely it definitely can happen. So that's where I leave on that.
Noted Ohio expert Chris Mendoza. What say you?
How many for mixed finalists?
5.
Okay. So my mind is telling me Fairfield, but my heart is telling me Chesterton Sandpipers at the 1. I met some fantastic parents from Chesterton. I sat in their section at Esperanza, where they completed their split caption. They split with the 4th place group, of course. And they brought a bird. They brought a bird with a t-shirt cannon. They brought a
Wait. Are you saying Scooter the Sandpiper was
Scooter the Sandpiper, full costume, t-shirt cannon. Completely domed a parent walking by.
No.
In the face.
Scooter's for the people, though. He would never do that. I do not believe this.
From the stage, past the first row of seats, straight to the dome.
Scooter was getting it at Chesterton.
Oh my gosh.
He was getting it at Chesterton.
This is insane.
I'm predicting this entire competition by what I want to happen.
Love it.
That's what I've decided.
Right.
So I'm going Chesterton at the 1, Fairfield at the 2, Olentangy 3, Beaver Creek 4, Waubonsee 5. That's my. I'm not even gonna try to touch the treble division because who knows.
Yeah, dang. Well, someone here has to be the voice of facts and logic and owning people who go by feelings on this podcast. And the numbers say Fairfield. The numbers say Fairfield. The numbers probably say Olentangy in 2nd. The numbers perhaps say Chesterton in 3rd, Waubonsee in 4th, and Beaver Creek in 5th. Really, from 3 to 5, the numbers, I don't know. Very interesting to see both Waubonsee and Chesterton here. I mean, I guess it's been quite the season for Waubonsee. You know, They had one competition in January. They had one competition in February. And now here they are in March. And they will finish off at Wheaton-Warrenville South the week after this. So only time this season they compete back-to-back. So a bit of an odder season for Soundcheck. But again, super interesting to see them in Ohio. And the numbers also say Fairfield Pure Elegance for the single gender finals when I'll put Olentangy at the 2, and I will actually put Chesterton at the 3. So I guess I also have a mirror of my mixed. I have Fairfield, Olentangy, and Chesterton. The one thing I will say about Olentangy is that they really need to kick it into gear right now if they want to make finals at Show Choir Nationals. I have not seen Olentangy show this year. I have not really heard a ton about Olentangy. What I do know is that they have a very impressive win over Loveland in January, and they just beat Findlay last week. But I don't even know if that's going to be enough to make Show Choir Nationals finals. And I don't have a dog in this fight either way. I'm just saying, like, Olentangy, like go time is now for them. And maybe this is just me justifying putting them ahead of Chesterton. So I think this is go time for Olentangy as well. Our final competition of the week, we are going to head to Iowa, which I swear has the longest season out of any state, and I absolutely love it. The Sioux City East Sing All About It event in the mixed division, Harrisburg Eclipse, Westwood Rebel Airs, Aberdeen Central Eagle Express, Mitchell Friendicu, Hastings Riverside Company, Bishop Heelan Harmonia Mundi, Elkhorn South Blackout, Ethan, choirs, end of the season for most of them. Who takes it all?
Great question, William. You always ask the great questions. I feel like the closer I get to my screen, the more I'll be able to figure it out. No, I'm kidding. So Hastings, I mean, they definitely have a bad taste in their mouth right now. I mean, it is what it is. Not being first place in prelims nor in finals, and what ended up being a complete flip in that competition. So, I mean, but Mitchell is a dog. I believe Mitchell is a dog, and I'm gonna run with Mitchell here. Got to run with the dogs. Oh man, but I'm going against my saying. Never mind. Hungry dogs run faster. I believe Hastings is a hungry dog. Mitchell is a very good dog, but I'm going to go with the hungry dog. Okay, I'm going to go with Hastings at the 1, Mitchell at the 2. I'm going to go Elkhorn South Blackout. I feel like they're having a very good year this year. I'm going to go Aberdeen Central in the 4, Bishop Heelan in the 5, and I'm going to go Harrisburg in the 6.
Noted Northwest Iowa expert Chris Mendoza on the scene with all the expert analysis. Battle for the win between a South Dakota choir and a Minnesota choir and a Nebraska choir, theoretically, in Iowa.
Lots of canine references here, Ethan. But I've got to I'm gonna go a little off the rails because as the California guy, that's got to be what I do. I think Mitchell wins straight out. No, I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. Elkhorn South Blackout, number 2. Hastings, number 3. Aberdeen, 4. Bishop, Heelan, and Harrisburg. That's what I'm going to go with. I think Elkhorn, I saw a result from Elkhorn that impressed me at some point in this season, so I'm going to pick them to upset.
Love it. Baby girl.
The amount of Bishop Heelan disrespect that has just gone on.
Whoa. There ain't no disrespect here, William.
Big choir name, mind you.
There is no disrespect in a tough lineup like this. It is what it is.
That is just you trying to cover
what?
When we have a Davenport North-esque situation.
No.
Pick them to win. Pick them to win, Will. I dare you.
Hey, I'm doing the exact same thing I did last time, Will. Okay, I pick winners. Apparently. I don't pick everything else. Everything else, I have no clue.
Yeah, and who has 2 wins on the season? Bishop Heelan, Harmonia Mundi. They have lost to 1 total group across 3 competitions this season. Although they are a 3A choir, they are a very legit group. They just finished up their Old Testament story arc. They are doing something else this year. I forget offhand. But another entirely captivating and enthralling show from Harmonia Mundi. Now, will they win this competition? The answer to that is I don't think so. I have Mitchell and then Hastings and then Bishop Heelan. And then I will put Elkhorn South at the 4. I will put Aberdeen at the 5. And I have Elkhorn South Shockwave at the 6. Although Power Surge just beat Shockwave last week from the Elkhorn South stable. So no, you know what? I'm just going to go Shockwave. I've seen too much out of Shockwave this year. Give me Shockwave at the 6. I mean, it would be insane if Heelan could beat either Hastings or Mitchell. I don't think right now is that time, but give it 2 more years and the program that Heelan has and the program that Gage Fenton and Emily Cunningham are building, who knows? I think that a lot of people are going to be very surprised if point spreads are ever released at how close Heelan is to Mitchell and Hastings.
Yeah, I guess shout out to you for trying to put us on. Shout out to you.
All right. And you know what? If they're 5th, I will gladly come on this podcast next week, Monday, and say.
Okay, now you're backtracking a little bit.
Yep.
Okay,
no. I will gladly come on this podcast and say I had my faith in the wrong places.
If Heelan gets 5th, shout out Diamond Bar Radiant next week on the pod.
Sure. I do shout outs all the time. I told Marquette kids that if they made finals, I would give them a shout out. And I did. Carl, you're
Marquette.
A real one.
Shout out Marquette. I heard from multiple people that they were the favorite show the whole day at Glennwood. So,
we have just a few minutes left as we wrap up this show. We have so much else happening throughout the country this weekend. We have Clinton going out for their final time of the year at Biloxi. We absolutely have a loaded South Lake Carroll showdown in Texas. That'll be Broken Arrow versus all of the best Texas groups. We have the Quincy Showcase of Excellence, which will be Wheaton North, Naperville North, and El Paso Gridley. We have the Tift County Peach State Invitational, which will be a rare win for either Opelika or Rome. We have Cosby, which features just a heck of a bunch of Virginia choirs. I'll go to Chris and then to Ethan real quick. What's one thing that we didn't get to touch on during the show for this upcoming weekend that you think people should pay attention to?
I think people need to pay attention to the Leo Meister Flamingo Show Choir Festival. That's just one heck of a name, first off. I just wanted to say it. I just want to say on the pod. I had to get a shout out. I mean, honestly, though, looking at it, it's probably Daniel Hand vibes to win out of the Tier 1 category. However, Andover had a really good showing earlier in the season. So don't sleep on Andover in any sense. I feel like Connecticut and New England just absolutely just flip all over the place in Massachusetts. You never really know until it happens. So it's probably Daniel Hands, but I have to give Andover a shot here because, I mean, they seem like they're on the up and up this year.
The Flamingo Show Choir Festival, incredible name, inaugural event. Chris, raised hand, go.
I really want Petal to beat Attaché because it would be funny. Take a caption maybe. I'd love to see it. I don't think they will. I think Attaché survives another year. But also, Linmar, make a men's group. Come to California. Compete against Men at Work. I want to see it.
And there we have it. For the second time this episode, we have a Please Linmar to California call. Can we talk about what happened at Somerset in New England this week? Great
an extra 3 minutes. So
Waltham and Daniel Hand went at it, and I believe there was a caption correction today. I believe that Waltham was actually awarded Best Band instead of Daniel Hand. Vibe, Best Choreography in the win, Waltham Vocals Band, and Second Man. It's been caption splits for these two since early last month. And opinions from that auditorium were definitely split on who should have won, as I'm assuming the judging panel were as well.
Yeah, and seeing South Windsor get fourth at this competition, it's kind of surprising. How Lowell is a very solid group. They don't just hand out
Todd.
Yeah, Stephen Todd, and they just don't hand out gold medals. Okay, they don't just hand them out. They're earned. Gold medals are earned over there. Okay, so shout out to all the choirs here. The only one in mix that didn't get a gold medal was Tantascwa. However, I know they are a really good group in the region. Them getting last in their division here is not a schmolder at all. But congrats to Daniel Hand for getting their lick back. Waltham right behind him with Best Vocals is still very impressive because I know Daniel Hand can sing. I know they can. So yeah, great competition.
Yeah,
and with that,
sorry.
Go ahead.
I love Waltham. I gotta say, if we're having a hall of fun shows, Waltham every year up there, Granada as well, Grenada. And I wonder what the direct ratio of just an adrenaline rush you get from winning a gold medal, in comparison to how many TikTok scrolls. I feel like there's a direct relationship there.
I got a gold medal, Chris. I could tell you, it's electric. It's electric.
Oh, I bet.
Oh man, when we got that gold medal, we were on top of the world. We really were.
I'm sure.
Some little group in Illinois winning a gold medal out in the big city.
Some little group in Illinois.
I need that gold medal like I need water. I'm not gonna lie. That dopamine rush is gonna hit.
Oh, no doubt, bro. It's the best. Shout out gold medals.
And right at the end of the show, we see a return of Mr. I've competed everywhere and seen every show, Ethan Parker. So glad that he could make a guest appearance at the wee very end.
Gotta make a buzzer beater, man. It's March. It's March.
I know.
March Madness. Gotta get these buzzer beaters off. Let's get it going.
For sure. Thank you so much, Chris, for coming on the show tonight. Thank you, Ethan, for coming on as well. Everybody, I hope you're either competing somewhere or watching some phenomenal show choir, especially the Mount Zion Midwest Invitational, www.streamshowchoir.com. Get your live stream ticket for Friday and Saturday. Also, Mount Zion preview show Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, 5:30 Mountain, 4:30 Pacific. We will see you then. Have a great night, everybody.